So step 2 is actually consists of 2 parts. One part is a proactive part, and the other part is a very much of a step towards self-love. So I think that many Jehovah's Witnesses really struggle loving themselves, and therefore they also struggle to love others. And in reality, you cannot actually love another person, and I'm not talking like just relationships, talking about generally loving people, what they call the agape love. But I think you know what I mean. It is very difficult to love other people if you don't love yourself. And I love to watch RuPaul and Drag Race. I absolutely love the drag queens. I think they're amazing. And RuPaul always says, "How the hell are you gonna love somebody else if you couldn't love yourself?" Or something to that effect. Basically, same thing. Because if we are constantly putting ourselves down, criticizing ourselves, we then project these things onto others, and people will treat us the way we treat ourselves. And that is a quantum law. So I love researching quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and also if anybody likes to look into things like the hermetic principles. So one of the principles says as within so without. So basically the outer world is a reflection of what's going on inside you, and that is a whole nother theme, but it leads me to this part 1 of the second point, which is if you can, if you're able to, please get therapy. And it is nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to be embarrassed about. You don't have to tell anyone. This is just for you. This is for your own healing, for your own journey. You don't need anyone's permission, and whatever you do, do not discuss your doubts or what you're doing or what you're thinking with any other witness. Because no matter what you think, how they react, at some point they will go and tell the elders. As I mentioned in the previous video, everyone's out for themselves, and the organisation's set up in such a way it pits people against each other. You know how witnesses are encouraged to inform on others, or if you see someone doing wrong, you sort of admonish them, and if they don't listen, then you tell them, "I'm going to tell the elders if you don't." So it's such a toxic environment, and you need therapy. You might not think you need it, but you do. Anyone who has been part of anything that's abusive, controlling, manipulative, that's isolating you from other people, that's making you feel ill or bad about yourself, it is going to leave a massive impact on your mental, emotional, physical health. I've ended up with fibromyalgia, vertigos, depression, anxiety, you name it. I still get fibromyalgia and vertigo moments. So I'm coming out of vertigo today. I don't know if it's going to come back tomorrow or not, but this is what stress does to your body. It will make you ill. So if you can, if you've got the facilities, whatever country you're in, please go to therapy, and do not tell another witness a word about any of this. You cannot trust them. You've got to get yourself to be the one person you trust and you look up to and you look after. It is just you. And I'm saying this not to isolate you, but to get you to a point where you are strong enough to leave the organisation. And you can get onto the proactive part of creating new connections later. But basically with therapy, what I will recommend from personal experience, I've been there, I've done that. Excuse me, my daughter's been drawing on my hand. When you ask for therapy and you might need medical help from your GP, maybe antidepressants, whatever the state of your mental health is. I was not in a good place, and it's nothing to be ashamed of to get help. So my recommendation is you'll be overwhelmed with a lot of emotions. You will not know who you are, where you're going, what you're doing. You'll be confused, drained, absolutely like a shell of yourself. So when you ask for therapy, for example, in UK, if you ask for counselling, there are places where you can go for specifically themed counselling. So whether that is abuse of any type or just general counselling. So my recommendation is ask for counselling and explain that you simply want to talk and you don't want advice or being told what to do, because this is your journey. You have to come to this point where you can make that step, that transition to leave. And you need someone who is trained and qualified to help you. So my biggest beef with the organisation is that the elders are in charge of people's lives, mental health, physical health, emotional health, even sexual health, parenting, work, education, all of that from people who are bloody window cleaners, bus drivers, accountants. They're not qualified, they've not spent years studying mental health, they're not being qualified how to deal with people who are having an anxiety attack or who are clinically depressed. So you need someone who is professional, and ask them that you want to talk about things and tell them the situation you're in, and you simply need somebody who is going to be compassionate and empathetic and who will give you advice that is best for you. Not best for an organisation, not best for Sky Daddy, some invisible being somewhere, but best for you, because no matter what anybody teaches or believes, the evidence is we only have this life. Now, I believe now in reincarnation, but it is only a belief. I can't prove it, and I will never be 100% certain of it. Just like I was never 100% certain on what Jehovah's Witnesses taught. And then you've got other people who believe we go to heaven, and obviously the witnesses believe about being resurrected if you die. I like the thought of reincarnation, from personal experience. But my point is, as far as evidence goes, this life is all you have. This life is all I've got. Once I'm gone, I'm gone. So you have to get to a point where you are looking after yourself. So get yourself some professional help. Don't tell anyone. You need to build a network of support, first of all, from qualified mental health professionals and from your GP or from your doctor, somebody you can trust who is not a witness. And slowly, or whatever your pace is, you have to start healing from it, whether that means therapy and medication or just therapy. It is essential that you get help from somebody who is actually trained and qualified. And then I will go on to part 2.2 in my next video. But however, I'm getting quite tired. I've had a long day. I've been at work. So it will probably be tomorrow or the day after. I hope this helps, and I will see you in the next part.